Today we're going to talk about how we can infuse some jazz harmony into a basic minor blues progression. I got a lot of requests for a lesson on this after my last video short and Instagram post. So today we'll dive into the chord substitutions I used and how we can outline those chords in our solos. I'll show you guys a bunch of lick examples, and all the tabs and notation will be available over on my Patreon page. So let's get into it. So for all of the examples today, we're going to be playing a minor blues in the key of B minor. And the first chord substitution we're going to add is a minor 2-5-1 to get to the 4 chord. So a 2-5-1 is a super common chord sequence that's used in jazz all the time. You can have a major 2-5-1 that resolves to a major chord, or a minor 2-5-1 that resolves to a minor chord. So in this case, we're going to use a minor 2-5-1 to get to E minor. And the first chord is going to be F sharp half diminished, then to B7 or some kind of B7 altered chord, and then finally resolving to E minor. Now it might seem a little strange to play a B7 chord in a B minor blues, but it's just a passing chord, and you have to think of this almost as like a key change to the key of E minor. Thinking about harmony this way and using chord sequences like 2-5-1s will really help you break away from key center type playing. You might be in a situation where you're playing a B minor blues and you just think B minor the whole time. But by introducing these new chords, it really forces you to address the underlying harmony and be more intentional with your note choices. Now, to solo over a minor 2-5-1, there's a lot of different approaches we can take. And one is to just play chord tones, so notes directly taken from the chords we're playing over. So for this first lick example, I'm going to play a very simple line with notes taken directly from an F sharp half diminished chord, a B7 chord, and then resolving to E minor. So now we can also use scales. Over an F sharp half diminished chord, it's common to use an F sharp Locrian scale. And then over this B7 to E minor, it's common to use an E harmonic minor scale. So in this next lick example, I will play F sharp Locrian and then transition into E harmonic minor. Okay, so one of my favorite things to play over a dominant 5 chord is the altered scale. So in this lick example, we're going to stick with the F sharp Locrian scale over the 2 chord and then transition to B altered over the 5 chord and then resolve to E minor. Okay, so moving on in the progression, the next thing we can do to spice up these chords is to add another minor 2-5-1 in measure 6 as we go back to the 1 chord. This time we're going to use a minor 2-5-1 that resolves back to B minor. So C sharp minor 7 flat 5 or C sharp half diminished, then to F sharp 7 or F sharp altered, then resolving to B minor 7. So we can use a lot of the same types of ideas. Of course, we're going to have to shift them now to a new key. But in this first lick example, I will play again just using chord tones of those 3 chords. Okay, in this next lick example, I'm going to use the Locrian scale again, except this time it will be the C sharp Locrian scale, and then transition to B harmonic minor over the F sharp 7 chord, going back to B minor. Okay, so in this example, we'll use the altered scale again. This time it will be F sharp altered for the 5 chord of our 2-5-1. So C sharp minor 7 flat 5, then F sharp 7, and we'll use the F sharp altered scale, and then resolve back to B minor. Okay, so one final chord substitution I love to do in a minor blues is to add a flat 6 chord before we go to the 5 chord. And there's two ways we can do this. We can do a flat 6 major chord, or we can do a flat 6 dominant chord. First up, we'll do a flat 6 major 7 chord, so G major 7, before we go down to F sharp 7, and then resolve to B minor. So for this type of chord change, I like to stick to chord tones. So in this example, I'll play chord tones over the G major 7 and then transition to F sharp 7. Okay, so now if we change this G major 7 chord to a G dominant 7 chord before we go to F sharp 7, for this, I like to stretch out a little bit and play out of the G Lydian dominant scale. So in this lick example, I'm going to play G Lydian dominant over that G7 chord, and then resolve to chord tones of F sharp 7 as the chord moves. So there are a lot of different pathways you can go down with these new chords, which makes it really fun to dive into. The lick examples I showed you today really just begin to crack the surface. There's so many possibilities that open up once you start introducing this new harmony. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this lesson. Go over to my Patreon page to check out the tabs for all these examples, plus the backing track. And as always, thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you next time. Take care.